Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to today's Fuse Meet session. You're here, as always, with me, Ian Kane. The date today is the 7th of February, 2024. Moving through 2024 at lightning pace already. It's crazy. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm sorry, smash the like button and the subscribe button, please. That would be great. And follow us across all our social channels to stay ahead. So today we're here for our Fuse Meet show, where we meet founders and team members of the projects that launch and integrate on Fuse Network. So today, I'm really pleased to be joined by the co-founder of a DEX that has just integrated Fuse called LogX. His name is Akshit Bordia. And it's a perpetual trading platform, and it's recently integrated Fuse. We're going to dive into all the details later. First, how are you today, sir? Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing wonderful. In fact, first of all, thank you so much for having me here today. Today is a special day for us. We have hit $2 billion of trading volume on LogX. So, again, the protocol is growing very, very fast. Took us 5 months to get to a billion, and then only a month to get to 2 billion. So, things are
Wow.
moving as fast as ever. So, yeah, very, very grateful to the community as well as every partner that we have on board.
Awesome. That's great to hear, man. And that's progress in its rawest form, I think we could say. So that's awesome to hear. Okay, cool. So we're going to dive into what's happening with Fuse and LogX. But just to begin, what we've got is USDT trading pairs with Bitcoin and Ethereum available to trade on the Fuse network. There's also a liquidity pool, and there's also the opportunity to earn log points. And you can, for a limited time, win a higher amount of airdrop rewards. We'll dive into all those things bit by bit. So first things first, I want to give the Fuse community a better idea of who it is that I'm speaking to today. So we mentioned LogX, we said co-founder. Actually, tell us more about yourself. How did you end up in Web3? Tell us a bit about yourself, man, and obviously what led you to start LogX.
Absolutely. Actually, probably what I'll do is I'll start from the very beginning, right? So it's hey everyone, I'm Akshat, co-founder of LogX. I would say that since my childhood itself, I come from a tier two city in India, right? And since my childhood itself, I had this fascination towards money, right? Like what is money? How do you look, game money? How do you, leverage money, do different things with money? How does I think whatever we call finance in a more sophisticated world, I was naturally very, very curious to learn that and understand that. And as I think years and years progressed, I think back in 2016 or 17 is when I discovered Web3. And honestly, I just had $1,000. I was just playing with those $1,000, and I explored the first crypto exchange ever in our country, right? And what I did was I started playing with those $1,000. And back then, I think that was the first time when I discovered this token called as Ripple. Right, and it's a very infamous token, to be honest, right? And I decided one night, let me just bet all my money on this. It was 10:30 in the night. I was like a
Nice.
right, and when I took that bet, right, still remember at 10:30 in the night, the price of Ripple was 15 cents, 10 to 15, 12, 13 to 14 cents. And then when I woke up, it was $1.2 at 5:30 in the morning next day. And then immediately, right, just like as I said, just like any newbie in crypto, you just see your wealth become 10x, and then you realize that, okay, fine, seems like something is interesting here. Seems like you should study this more.
Something here, right? Yeah.
And that was the moment I said that let me now understand the tech of it. Let me now understand how it actually works, and let me actually, let me not be on the other side of the screen who's using the product. Let me be on the other side of the screen, which is who's building the product, right? And that's where I started exploring a bunch of things. And then I think the DeFi summer came in, and then after that, everything was so obvious that this thing is going to become 100x, right? Interestingly, I also, before starting Flint Labs, which is the parent company that owns LogX, I used to work at the largest fintech of India, which is called as Cred. There I used to lead monetization, have built multiple financial products right from scratch, from payments to loans to a bunch of other things. So
Wow.
what that helped me do, right, is that I have some amount of understanding as a DGen user of how Web3 and DeFi works. And then I have some amount of understanding, or I would say some amount of deep understanding on building financial products. bringing both these two things together. What we did at Flint Labs was we launched product number one that did phenomenally well. Then, due to regulations, we had to wind that product down. Then we launched product number two, which is today called as LogX, has done, as I mentioned already, $2 billion+ of trading volume. And then it's a very small focus team, just 12 to 13 people in the team, mostly engineers, moving as aggressively as we can to build the best perpetual experience out there.
Wow, man, that journey is pretty incredible and not so dissimilar to my own sort of journey. I didn't get quite as lucky with XRP as you got. That's a really cool story, man. Like very interesting as well to hear that you started off by playing, but quickly realized there's something more to this. There's more here than just simple trading and speculation. That's really interesting. And just as a thing, did you have any development background, or you're not you weren't a developer in the previous life, were you? It wasn't your thing.
To be honest with you, I've been a developer as well as a product person since the very beginning. I do not believe, like even till this date, I do not believe in just thinking of products. You have to build some part of it. So, for example, the first website of Flint Labs that we built out, I was building that along with my co-founder in a train. Like
Yeah.
literally, I had a laptop in front of me. I was like hacking it out in a train overnight so that the
In an
next
Indian
morning.
overnight train as well, right? Which I've been on, so I know the conditions you were under. That's not easy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like I was quoting one more website in the flight to US like a couple of years back. But the point is that you need to hack out the first version of the product. And then I think like to me, it is less of a whether you're a developer or a growth person or something else. It is about you just if you are standing, you get the job done. I think like that's the way I think about it. So when it comes to development, growth, marketing, anything, like the thought process is let's do the scrappy work yourself as fast as possible. Once you learn, you can always bring in people alongside. You are reducing the risk for them also. So that's been the journey. But at the core, I've always been a product person. Want to build the best financial products in the entire world. That's what I want to do for the long term.
Great answer, man. Like really, really great answer. And I really agree with you that getting your hands dirty in those early years is absolutely essential to understanding the product that you're trying to build, right? You can't just outsource everything. Amazing answer. Thank you, man. All right, cool. So I think we've got to know each other a little bit better. And I think the Fuse community should be suitably impressed with who they are listening to right now. So let's dive into the questions that I've got lined up for you. So we said at the beginning, and that's why we're here, that LogX has had an integration with the Fuse network, and it opens up new possibilities for traders on Fuse and more generally for traders in DeFi. Actually, tell us what benefits. Number one, what benefits does LogX bring to traders? Number one. Number two, what specific benefits at this moment is it bringing to Fuse token holders and community members?
Uh, so first of all, let me actually address what the product is, right? And then I'm gonna address two types of different users. One is like a normal user, which apparently LogX seems to be doing wonderfully great at. And then I'm also gonna cater the degen user, which apparently also LogX caters really good to, right? So coming back to the point, right? LogX is essentially a perp DEX, which is highly capital efficient, right? When I say perp DEX, let me actually break down these two terms, perp DEX and capital efficient.
Mm-hmm.
When I say it's a perp DEX, what it means is, let's say if you want to, let's say if you have $100, right? And if you want to say that, hey, I believe BTC is going to move up, like, bro, I'm just like 100% confident it's going to go up, right? And you, if you take a bet with $100, even if BTC goes up 20%, 30%, let's assume 50%, your $100 only turn into 150, right?
Yeah.
But what if you can take leverage, which by that, what I mean is convert your $100, take a loan and make it $1,000. And then if it goes up 50%, you are making $500 on top of it and you return back these $900 that you borrowed. That is what core at the core perpetuals trading is, right? If
Okay.
you want to take a directional market bet, whether the market will move up or whether the market will move down, then technically perpetuals is the right product for you. And
Okay.
what we are doing at LogX is building a perpetual product which supports more than 130 plus markets right now live on Fuse, where we of course have started with two core markets, which is BTC and ETH, and we'll very soon add like at least 20 more markets in the next few months. You can use LogX in an in an easy to use manner, right? All you need to do is take your MetaMask wallet or whatever wallet of your choice that you have your funds in, connect it to LogX, choose the token you want to essentially bet on, and then just like enter the amount, hit long or short, and that's it. Your position is open now. You sort of like enjoy whatever you want, and as you can see on the screen, right, like it's like super easy, just two-step process to literally play on play on LogX. Now, with
Yeah,
that
nice.
being said, what's the value prop for on-chain users, right? So on Fuse, we have come up with two very very fascinating value props. Value prop number one: you can deposit your USDT, right, which is a stable coin, in the LogX liquidity pool, and then 60% of the protocol fees which traders are giving to the protocol goes to you. So technically, the beauty of decentralization here is we are not keeping that money. The money
Mhm.
generated from the protocol goes to the real owners of the protocol, which are the liquidity providers. And that's how the cycle of liquidity provision as well as consumer trading sort of comes into play, wherein the cost of trading is very very low because the protocol is highly kept liquidity efficient, and for liquidity providers the yield is very very real. Like just imagine you're earning 15 to 20% or even 25% plus yield in multiple cases, just by depositing your stable coins. So that's sort of the value prop. That's the product that is already live on Fuse mainnet. You can use it right away, and that's sort of what we've built on Fuse.
That's a really strong project, and like as you said at the beginning, we are going to introduce more tokens into it and more trading options. But right now, that's the actionable things you can do. Another great answer, actually. You are a bit of a professional at these podcasts. I think you've done this before, right? Okay, so I've got some other questions, but you've nailed them in that one. So I'm going to just jump forward a little bit. And one of the big things, so we know what LogX is, we know what it does, and we know what Fuse token holders could do. So if anyone's confused about that, you can reach out to us. There's articles on the blog that detail it in more detail as well. So one of the things that you guys shout about on the website and is big in our space is security, obviously. There's a couple of firms out there, PeckShield being one of them, that's very well known in the space for doing audits. Now, you've got a very high commitment to security, including regular audits with PeckShield. Tell us a bit more about your sort of dedication to this and how does it enhance LogX as a platform?
Absolutely. I think like security is one point which people don't talk about. And I think in this podcast I want to like not just share what we are doing. I want to educate a lot of people on security, because this is something which nobody should take for granted, right?
Yes.
So on LogX we have done three core things to ensure security. And in fact, like there is a fourth thing which we also do for security, but the core three things are the core pillars of any core DeFi protocol to be done, which in my view 95% of protocols do not do. That's why I said like I want to educate people on this, right?
Yeah. Okay.
First thing is I think like LogX has been audited and was audited 5 months ago by Solid Proof. The reason we got audited by Solid Proofs was because we felt that in order for us to even launch on mainnet, even though we are a nimble team, small team, trying to move as fast as possible, even if we have to launch on mainnet, we need one audit live, right? And as we were progressing, our smart contracts were developing. We thought let's get in an auditor. Specifically with let's say for the Fuse launch and a bunch of other launches, let's get an auditor which is very very well known in the market, and who other than PeckShield, right? So that's where we went for audit number two. PeckShield is the auditor or the same auditor which audited DYDX, right? So that's where we felt that DYDX has fared very well. It has it has stood the test of time. Why not? Let's just go with the tried and tested play, right? So those were the two things we did on Web3 security side of things.
Mhm.
Now comes the real part, which is a lot of people do not understand that Web3 security or contract security is just one part of the play. The real part of the play is also Web2 security, wherein if you have a website, someone can launch a DDoS attack and traders can just lose money because the website is not active.
Yeah.
We went ahead and did an independent audit for these DDoS attacks. We secured a bunch of our APIs with another independent player in Web2 to get the entire protocol safe, as if it's a financial app made for a bank, right? So we did all these measures, and over and above that, every single release that goes out, there is there are a couple of independent auditors internally in the team who have worked at audit firms in the past, who audit the release before it goes out, no matter how small or big it is. So fundamentally, I don't think audit is something. In fact, like you'll be surprised to know, uh, a lot of times. when auditors were auditing our code, even after they said it's audit done, these two team members were able to figure out 2 to 3 bugs over and above what they did. So it's essentially, imagine these are like the best firms in the world, and then our team is able to figure out issues bigger than what they could not figure out. So that's what I feel, that at the core, security has to be a founder's obsession, a team's obsession. No single person, no single audit firm can solve that for you. You have to stand and deliver on that front, is what my viewpoint is.
That's a excellent answer, I think. Again, like, and absolutely agree with you 100 million%. I think it's very interesting what you mentioned there as well about the Web 2 side of the security. You're right. A lot of the time I was around in the DeFi summer, and it was very much a case of, okay, here's a new DEX audited by XYZ, must be safe. Nobody took any extra steps, right? That was just, they saw a logo or they saw something and thought, that's it. It's guaranteed. It's great. And as we now know, there a lot of them weren't, and a lot of them were rug pull situations. So it's really interesting that you mentioned that, and I think it's really important as well, and things that people don't think about. So again, good answer, man. Okay, so a high dedication to security, a capital efficient DEX. These are two things in your favor. Now, also, you've got a mobile app, which makes things really, really simple as well. Is the mobile app as functional as the desktop version? Tell us a bit more about the mobile app. Does it allow traders to kind of take their moves with them in the pocket? Like, how does it work?
Absolutely. So what I want to say here is that one of the things we realized while we were traders ourselves is that, like, imagine I'm traveling, right? It's like late in the night. I can't always use my laptop when I'm traveling or whatever. But as a trader, I want to trade, and I really want to trade, right? And that's where we decided that let's focus very, very deeply on mobile version of LogX. And that's where if you use any of the wallets out there, which is, let's say, MetaMask, Coinbase, Trust Wallet, or whatever wallet of your choice, LogX, if you just use that app, connect to LogX, LogX works in like multiple times better than 99% of your DeFi apps out there, because each and every flow has been made with 100% precision to suit a trader to trade while they are on the go. So I think, like, that's the trader experience we've been focused on. The most interesting part is, while we sort of focused on the trader experience, I observed a lot of people use our mobile version to provide liquidity, which is, like, again, not bad. It's like
No, but
interesting.
that's, you wouldn't expect that though, would you? Like, the I don't know why. Why wouldn't we expect that as people who've been in this space for ages? Do you? I always find that I mean, this is going off the subject slightly, but I always use my desktop to do trades. I feel more secure and safer on there. So, did you? I'm guessing you crunching the data. Like, you launched the mobile app, you have the desktop. Which one is being used more currently?
70/30 is what I would say. 70% is desktop, 30% is
Desktop.
mobile. Even though the interesting part with mobile is people use mobile to close the trades, not necessarily open the trades. So imagine, like, I'm on my laptop, I've opened a position, I get a call from, I don't know, like my friend or someone else, I'm on the go, then I want to close my position as and when I hit my take profit stop loss
Exactly.
benchmarks. So that's how people are using the product.
Got it. Super important. That's really interesting little nuance there and how they're using it. So they're using desktop to mainly construct action, and then when they need to make a move fast, they can. Again, it's a great addition to the project as well. All right, cool, man. So we've gone into all the basic details of the DEX and what it offers and what it can do, and we covered the mobile app as well, which is available for download on, is it iOS and Android, or is it Android only? What's the deal there?
So essentially, as I mentioned, right, like, we were designing a mobile app, but what we did was we thought that a lot of people use mobile wallets more, like
Got it.
Coinbase or a bunch of these wallets more, and that's where we said that let's do this. Let's design that experience to absolute perfection. And that's why you would see, like, since that consumer behavior is there, we sort of held off on the mobile app and launched this version as soon as possible, which is live right now, and you can use it across Android, iOS, or even if you have those
Got it.
old Firefox Fox or Nokia phones, they probably also support
You still got
LogX,
a
right?
BlackBerry, actually. That's why you said that, and you still got a BlackBerry, haven't you? And you're
Yeah.
using it on there. All right, cool, man. Let's okay. So we've gone into the details of the DEX, as I said. So now I want to talk about some of the things, some of the opportunities for traders out there. There's a couple of things we mentioned early on. So you've got something called liquidity gems and multiplier NFTs that you offer as rewards for liquidity participation. So this is when people provide their tokens, assets as liquidity to you. Tell me a bit more about that. How do the incentives work? Like, what do people need to do, and how do they contribute to the bigger picture here?
So I think in the product that we are building, there are two sides of the play, and there are two value props for consumers. A, you provide liquidity in the liquidity pool. You earn 20 to 25% APY on top of that, right? These are stable coins, and this liquidity is used for traders to trade, and essentially this liquidity is the external market maker or external partner
Yeah.
in opening these trades, right? Now, if as a leverage trader, if you want to open bigger trades, you need bigger amount of liquidity, right? And that's why we have come up with ingenious two very, very interesting ecosystems, or two different reward loops. Reward loop number one is, if you provide liquidity on the protocol, you earn liquidity gems. As I said, you're being a part of the ecosystem, so you also get, over and above the liquidity gems, 20 to 25% of stablecoin APY. Point number two, as you're trading, right? As a trader, what we want to do is we want to subsidize your first few transactions, right? Like, the whole idea is that we want you to be used to the platform. We want you to explore the platform, and then once you've explored, you can do the right amount of trades as per your convenience, right? And in order to incentivize that, we built out the LogX points program, wherein each trade that, that you make on LogX, for each $100 of volume that you do, you get 1 point. So that's how this entire structure is made, and these points, of course, will be converted to dollar log x in different form factors. I can't share much away right now, based upon how the team decides. But at the core, these are the two core reward loops that are built for consumers. Now, what are these NFTs? And in fact, recently we came up with these wonderful, beautiful looking black, gold, and silver NFTs. Now, these NFTs are technically a way for users to do special actions, and they get reward on top of it. For example, if you get rank number one on the leaderboard, you get a black NFT, which is the most rare NFT. There are only 420 mints across the life cycle of, let's say, LogX for this NFT. The second one
Okay.
is a gold NFT, which is only 690 mints across the life cycle of LogX, right? So you can earn these rare NFTs, and of course, these will have, again, different rewards associated to it in the end. But yeah, that's how the entire structure is made. That's how the entire product is made right now.
That's really, and the NFTs, I'm supposing, could have secondary market value. So let's say I use LogX for years. I accumulate one of these sexy looking black NFTs, which means I now get benefits on LogX. But I've decided that crypto trading is no longer for me. Can I move this NFT on to another trader?
Absolutely, you can sell your NFTs, right? And you'll be surprised to know our last NFT edition, people were selling it at like 500, $700,000, and those were not even rare. So I'm assuming if you get a black NFT, I'm gonna personally, like, let's say, trade a lot on LogX maybe in the next 1 2 weeks, get a black NFT because, like, the rules are not different for me versus a
Yeah,
common
yeah,
user, right? And once I get that, I'm gonna try to sell it and see how expensive it is in the market. So yeah, like, that's sort of my hunch. But it should be worth a few $1,000s. But again, as I said, I don't know the details yet. But all I can say is it looks very, very beautiful, and
yeah.
it's essentially, think of it this way: you have a special badge of honor as a trader if you have a black NFT.
Exactly. It's like gamification, isn't it? Like, and I think gamification of everything is quite important in life, where people, they want to move up a leaderboard, they want to receive rewards for their actions. It's a very basic human principle. I think you do something, you should be rewarded for that. It sounds very cool, man. And then instantly in my mind, I was like, secondary market trading. So it's really interesting what you said about the resale value there. It's so high. So again, guys listening, these are things that make LogX stand out, where you go there and participate and start using the platform for trading, and then you're getting rewarded in other ways. And I think that as a trend, where traders who earn these badges of honor, I think that's going to become a trend, isn't it? Where, and then you share your strategies and things like that with other traders. And this is definitely something I see in the market, that it's moving that way. So it's very cool, man. Okay, so we have done the present. We have done a little bit of alpha future. We also have a campaign launching in conjunction with Fuse. I'm not going to say too much about it because we haven't launched it yet. So it'll be coming out very soon. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. But actually, finally, can you tell us a bit about your plans for LogX? Like, I have a feeling you're going to tell me you're going to take over the whole universe, but let's talk about 2024. and kind of what's your key plans for this year? What are you trying to achieve mainly?
I know you have already said this, but we are gonna take over the whole universe of DeFi.
I
So
know that was
just like a couple of extra words to it. Right now, to be honest with you, LogX is live on 7 different ecosystems. We are market leaders on 5 out of those 7. We are expanding to more and more very exciting ecosystems like Fuse Network, right? And our idea is very simple. We want centralized users to come on LogX and trade decentralized perpetuals so that they don't face FTX like issues ever in their life again. Right? That's what our goal is for this year. Just bring as many centralized users to LogX and help them trade decent in a decentralized way, have custody of their funds. That's what our goal is, and I think we are doing very well on that goal. As I mentioned, today we have crossed $2 billion of trading volume. 77,000 plus consumers have interacted or transacted at least once on LogX. That's higher than 99% of the other perpetual protocols out there. In fact, I think that's higher than uh, that's that's probably closer to GMX also, to be honest with you, and should touch GMX in the next like few months or so. So like we are growing incredibly fast. In fact, yesterday our volume was higher than what GMX did, which is the best on-chain perpetual that is out there, right? At least on the AMM side of things. So
yeah.
that's what we are doing, like just trying to build the best product out there, build a great trading experience this year. In fact, every week we ship out one performance enhancement in the product, wherein if you would see, yesterday we pushed out an update which has reduced our latency or
Mm,
load times by 50%. But at the core, what we want to do is we want LogX to be omnipresent across the entire of DeFi. Five, like market leaders on 5 out of 7 different ecosystems we are live on. In the By the end of 2024, we should be market leaders all live on at least 20 plus ecosystems, covering the almost like 95% of DeFi, as well as having more than $500,000 or $500,000 users on the platform. That's what our goal is. That's what our viewpoint is.
easy, I think, actually, very easy to achieve all of that. You sound like you've got it all taken care of. But I just want to say, like, because we're drawing to the end of the interview, it's been a real pleasure talking to you, man. Like, I really think that people listening today and in the future to this will get a great idea of who's behind this protocol, because I think it's super important, because DeFi and also Web3 is quite an anonymous world. But these are real companies, and I think it's very important that people understand who runs them and their motive and your motivations and why you're doing this. And I think you've done an outstanding job today, man. My hat goes off to you, definitely. Okay, cool. So I think we've covered everything that we wanted to cover today. I have so people who want to try LogX, you can just scan this code right here. It'll take you straight to LogX and you can start trading. As actually it says, you just connect your wallet, dive in, very easy. And then this is the airdrop link here for you guys. So these guys that you collect points, you'll be in line for an airdrop. So go and read all about that there as well. All right, perfect. Thank you so much for your time today, man. I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you'd like to say or get out there before we close up for today?
I think the only point I want to add is the partnership that you have done with Fuse is a very special one for me personally. I believe Fuse has a very strong footprint in a lot of Latin American as well as, let's say, Asia, European as well as US markets, and I think like those are the markets where we are trying to expand very aggressively. So I think like in general, if anyone who's listening out there and as a Fuse ecosystem user, I would highly encourage you to test out LogX, give us feedback, help us improve the product, and then also enjoy the benefits of. I think we're launching a bunch of incentives as well as reward programs on Fuse that they're going to go live in a day or two. So do enjoy all those benefits, and then I think like stay tuned for more alpha from Fuse as well as LogX ecosystem. But thank you so much
I was
today for.
gonna I was going to say we could do another show and you do another billion, but like that might be like 2 days time. So I'm not going to say that because it sounds like you might get there faster than I think, to be honest. Okay, final question, totally off the cuff. Bitcoin to 30K or Bitcoin to 50K? What do you think?
I think like I've been a trader, as I said, since a long time now. My bet is Bitcoin should go to 100K very soon. And the reason, again, no financial advice. That's just my personal opinion. The reason I say it can go to 100K is because a lot of catalyst is coming in with the ETF. Plus, Ethereum ETF or ETH ETF might also get through. The probability of that is like relatively high considering all the conditions. So if that happens, there's going to be a flush of liquidity, and that's just going to take, of course, the front runner into the play forward and forward and forward. Of course, the US elections will also kick in. My guess is Fed might also like sort of reduce repo rates. So all that liquidity should flush into Web3, and then yeah, I think like more liquidity equal to more prices, and then that's how it is.
I like it, man. I like the positivity. I'm teetering on my thoughts right now. I'm like, will we hit 30? I've been watching the candles. We're not closing that high. We shall see, right? But I agree with you in the long run. Bitcoin to 100 million, I think, in the longer run, definitely. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching today. As I said at the beginning, these programs are all available on our YouTube. If you want to unpack them and come get to grips with what we spoke about today, we are both available for comments. If you just fire Twitters at us and other things, we can answer any questions that you've got. Actually, once again, thank you, man. Been great. And you did a great job. Well done. And we will catch up with all you guys soon. All right. So thanks for watching again, and take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. See you. Cheers.